much fun has this series been? We are ready for another great game here tonight between the Detroit Tigers and the Texas Rangers. And now let's send it upstairs to Joe Buck. Hello, Joe.
Hi there, Chris. And the answer to your question is it's been great. It's been a lot of fun these first 5 games, and now it's game 6 in Arlington, Texas. If we look back to game 5 2 afternoons ago, Jim Leyland, manager of the Tigers, was very audacious in saying that because our bullpen is worn out, even though we're facing elimination, I'm going with my big gun, Justin Verlander and Phil Koch. That is it. He stuck to his plan, and the Tigers won that game 7-5. So we got rest, 2 days of rest for Joaquin Benoit and Jose Valverde, his closer, and I welcome in my partner, Tim McCarver. And because of that, he's got that bullpen rested and ready to go. The Tigers are locked and loaded for game number 6.
Yeah, here's the plan. I mean, Jim Leyland, he'll go about 5, maybe 6 innings if he can with Max Scherzer, and then he'll go to Rick Porcello and Phil Koch in the middle and finish with his big guys, Benoit and Valverde. That's, of course, if the Rangers cooperate. They don't always do that, though.
No, they don't, and they're up 3-2. They're here at home, and yet manager Ron Washington will manage this game as if his team is down 3-2 because, Tim, he wants it to end tonight.
Well, there's no expression of baseball, you've heard it many times, that you go with your starting pitcher and you're only as good as your starting pitcher. But for the Rangers in this series, they've been only as good as their bullpen. And that's why Ron Washington is not going to be very patient with Derek Holland if he's wild early, first, second inning.
We could see a lot of Scott Feldman, and we will see Alexi Ogando before the end of the night. That you can bet. We get ready to press forward, but right now we look back to game 5.
The Motor City of Detroit on their last legs and facing elimination. The Tigers made their last stand. Battered but determined, some unlikely heroes emerged. They needed their ace to come through. Verlander, you're so cool. I kept asking Tim, how come the team that looks to be in control often isn't? And he'd say, that's the way the ALCS goes. It can be generous this fall, and by DirecTV, if you call, lead them out. Take your team to the field, up 3-2. Do it. Go. Run out there. Beautiful night, 86 degrees, crystal clear, and I don't know what we're going to do without a threat of rain. But there is no threat of rain, and there's no threat of rain tomorrow. Since we can't get him to run on the field, we'll remind you that the opening pitch is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Maybe Ron Washington can lead him out onto the field with all that energy he's got in the corner of that dugout. Or Napoli. Oh. Now we know why they're a little bit delayed. One of the starters, the guy who will get the baseball tonight on the middle of the diamond on the mound, had to adjust his uniform and change his uniform tie.
Gotta have a pitcher.
Yeah. There he is. Derek Holland is getting ready to go. Let's give you the starting lineup for the Tigers, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And there are no surprises. Austin Jackson still in that leadoff spot despite all the strikeouts. Ryan Rayburn, Miguel Cabrera. The DH is Victor Martinez. Then it's Delman Young, Johnny Peralta, Avila. Brandon Inge is batting 8th. And Ramon Santiago, who has been so good against left-handed pitching during this postseason, the switch-hitting second baseman, is batting 9th. And here is Derek Holland. And Tim, it's worth repeating that there will be serious concentration on the part of Ron Washington, Mike Maddox, on the control of Derek Holland. And if they don't feel like he's throwing the fastball where he wants to throw it here in the first inning, they will get action up immediately.
you can tell at home when Derek Holland is wild high. They call it the shotgun approach or the scattergun approach. And with the fastball, as he was in game 2, when he walked 4 in 2 2/3 innings and gave up the big blow, a 3-run home run by Ryan Rayburn. So we'll see how it goes. But a close eye on Holland's control in the beginning.
Home plate umpire for this game 6, Tom Hallion, is behind the plate. Tim Welke started this series behind the plate. He's worked his way all the way back to first base. He's the crew chief. Larry Vanover is at second. Jim Wolf at third field, and Culbreth, and then it's Jeff Nelson down the right field line. And here is Austin Jackson, and talking to Austin's manager Jim Leyland before the game. He said, you know, the strikeouts are really piling up. But if I take him out of the leadoff spot, I might as well take him out of the game. If there's a spot where Jackson comes up with an RBI opportunity, Leyland will not hesitate to pinch hit.
Saying that should be in the 5th or 6th inning.
He goes up there ready to swing, and he fouls it back. 94 from Holland. Strike 1. 49% of the time he struck out during this postseason. So it's up from 31% when he struck out 181 times. That's on the inside corner. Good hop on that fastball. 0-2. Every fastball harder than the one before it. That 97 up and away. 1-2. Ripped into left field, a base hit, and right out of the gate, Austin Jackson rewards Jim Leyland for his patience. He's on to start the night. When we take a look at the defense for Texas, Andy Chavez gets the start in left. Murphy is DHing. Hamilton in center. Nelson Cruz in right. Beltre, Andrews, Kinsler, Michael Young. The catcher is Napoli for Derek Holland, and it's 1 on, nobody out. Here's Rayburn, who hit one of the 4 home runs the Tigers hit in game 5. He's got 2 in this series. Ball 1 down and away.
Joe, when you are having problems early, your pitching becomes more predictable. 5 straight fastballs from Derek Holland. So instead of the breaking ball, Austin Jackson got a fastball to hit and open the game with a base hit.
See if Jackson wants to do any running. Double play ball. Andrews to Kinsler, and easy on to first. 2 out.
Elvis Andrews has every reason to smile. That was a cutter in on the hands of Ryan Rayburn, similar to the ball he hit out the 3-run home run in game 2. Easy double play.
You can see Kinsler even take his eye off that toss from Andrews before he got it. That was about as routine as they get. Day 1 of spring training, and with 2 out, nobody on, here's Miguel Cabrera, who is 6 out of 16 in this LCS, and he has hit in 12 straight LCS games. Strike 1. Talked to Andrews before the game 2 nights ago, and he said, I know right where Ian Kinsler wants it when I feed him for the double play. And you said, well, where does he like it? He said, anywhere. He'll take the toss anywhere, and he's so good at turning the double play, which he just did.
He'll take it anywhere, but he wants it around his chest. That's where his arms and hands are.
Correct.
Makes it a little easier to avoid that oncoming runner.
With the count 0-1, Cabrera takes ball 1. Miguel hit .344 during the regular season, 30 home runs. He's protected by Victor Martinez, the switch hitting DH, on deck. .96, strike 2.
Two-seam fastball. to get Cabrera in the hole if he is ever in a hole.
Way late. 97 from Holland, who has featured old number one, the fastball, the entire inning.
Yeah, we talked about it. The Tigers with two guys who are oblivious to two strikes. Cabrera and Martinez, two best in baseball.
Again, 97, still 1-2. Max Scherzer will take the mound in the bottom of the inning. He settled in and was very good in game 2. In the air to right field, the ball carries at the wall. It is gone. Miguel Cabrera with a home run the opposite way, and it's 1-0 Tigers. That is right where the ball jumps in this park, and it had just enough on it to get out. And the Tigers strike first in game 6.
Ron Washington saying that it's a wonder Cabrera isn't walked 200 times a year intentionally. With the count 1-1, he gets the count 1-2 and fouls off some tough pitches until he gets the ball out over the plate, tremendously strong the other way to put the Tigers on the board.
His third of this postseason. Just out of the reach of Nelson Cruz and a fan. Right in between them. And with 2 out, nobody on, a run home, Victor Martinez takes a breaking ball in for a strike. Mentioned he's a switch hitter. He struggled in the postseason against left-handed pitching. Derek Holland, who's been working for a long time on that mustache, falls behind 1-0. There's strike 2.
Some guys shorten their stroke with 2 strikes, and that takes away from your power. Martinez and Cabrera, not so. They still have good power with 2 strikes.
Ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes with Delman Young on deck. And Delman, when we last saw him, hit 2 home runs in game 5. Over but low, 2-2. Victor Martinez with a count 2-2. Should end the inning. Kinsler. It's the 10th home run hit in this LCS by the Tigers. It is the 8th solo home run among those 10. Miguel Cabrera knows how to ride him out of parks. 1-0 Tigers in game 6. In Arlington, Texas, the Taco Bell starting lineup for the Rangers. Think outside the bun. Kinsler, Anderson, Hamilton, Young, Beltran, Napoli in the middle. Nelson Cruz, who's been a one-man wrecking crew, and then David Murphy, Andy Chavez. The last 2 against the right-hander Max Scherzer, who came from Arizona with Daniel Schlereth in that 3-team deal. And that's what he's done this postseason. He's been good in the rotation. He's been good out of the bullpen, as he was in game 5, the division series at Yankee Stadium. And now he deals with Kinsler to start the night.
Fastball, 2 types of changeups, and a slider he's developed with pitching coach Jeff Jones this year.
Kinsler lays off that one that rides inside. Ball 1. Over but low, 2-0. And this crowd is packed in here to this stadium tonight. They have been fired up for a while prior to this game, and any sign of a rally, they will let it go. They want another trip to the World Series, which they got last year, only to fall to San Francisco. It's 3-0. Kinsler will take a strike. A pop-up as Scherzer comes back to get Ian Kinsler as Santiago hauls it in, 1 out. You know, Santiago's at second base for Detroit in the outfield. Delman Young, Austin Jackson, Ryan Rayburn left to right. Inge, Peralta, Miguel Cabrera at first. And the catcher is Avila. Receiving Scherzer and receiving a huge ovation was Dirk Nowitzki, who before this game was shown on the big screen, and this place went nuts.
Now that's a big strike zone.
Yeah. And that's one of the most pure jump shots. For a guy that big, I mean, you just don't see it. Here's a pitch up and into Elvis Andrus from Scherzer. Verlander got him here with his efforts in Game 5. Andrus is on as he shoots the gap in left center. He will hold as Young gets to it, 1 on, 1 out. 5th hit of this series.
Two-seam fastball up in the strike zone, and Elvis Andrus with a 1-out hit. Eric Karros asked Ron Washington tonight before the game why the Rangers were not running more than they were. The only stolen base is the steal of third by Ian Kinsler. That led to a run. And Wash saying, I'll tell you, the right-handed pitchers for the Tigers have been doing a very good job getting the ball to home in a hurry.
Big lead, and Elvis able to get back. He stole 37 during the regular season. Time is called, and Cabrera wants to make sure time was called because Elvis got up and got off the bag. Cabrera still had it on him. But Andrus needed to dig around at the dirt in the area where he takes his lead. They want to run, they just haven't been able to. Running is a big part of the Rangers game. Hamilton at the plate. That is into right center field, and not well hit. He got under it, 2 out.
That was a changeup on the first pitch. Not too many pitchers are effective in doing that because think about it, it's the first time they face the hitter during the game. So from what are they changing? But that is a big part of Max's arsenal. That changeup, he has 2 types. One with 2 strikes is what he calls the finish off changeup.
Here's Michael Young, who has 1 career postseason home run. 4 out of 22. He's been getting a little hotter with the bat. And again, a spot to run if Elvis Andrus can figure out when to go. That skips in, and Cabrera digs it out.
We've already seen 1 throwing error by a Detroit pitcher in this series. That's what speed does to you. May not be able to steal the base, but those constant throws to first base, as Jim Leland gives signs to Alex Avila, the catcher.
That was Porcello in Game 4. He was in the bullpen tonight for Detroit. Jim Leland is working with a 4-man bullpen. There are other guys listed, but if the Tigers are in a position to win this game or try and stay close, one of 4 guys will be on the mound after Scherzer. Porcello, Cope, Benoit, and Valverde.
That was a very, very good slider and a fastball count. Watch how it goes down. We talked about those sliders before. If they don't go down, they go out.
There he goes. Avila's throw. Too late. Skips in. Stolen base, Elvis Andrus.
Very good jump. Another slider. Not a good pitch to handle. And Avila with a short hop to second base. Johnny Peralta did what he could. Andrus with the first steal for him in this series.
Now a hit from arguably the best hitter in franchise history for the Rangers. Could tie the game. Instead, he pops it up. Right side. Foul ball. Cabrera ends the inning. We've played one in game 6 here in Arlington, Texas. Home run by Cabrera. 1-0 Tigers. Strike one to Delman Young. You can be a part of the Chevy Centennial celebration and enter to win at ChevyBaseball.com. Delman Young hit 2 home runs 2 evenings ago in game 5. Had that strained oblique after the Yankees series. Ken Rosenthal, kind of funny how things work out.
It is, Joe. Those 2 home runs were all the more amazing considering that the Tigers left Young off their initial roster for this series, thinking that he would not be ready until game 4 or 5 at the earliest. They didn't want to risk putting him on the roster and then having to take him off in the middle of the series due to further injury. If that had happened by the rules, he would have been ineligible for the World Series as well.
All right, Ken, thanks. So he strikes out Delman Young. That's the first strikeout. And Derek Holland, I'll say this. Control is a question. Velocity and stuff is not for Holland.
Well, Ron Washington would rather see that. So would Mike Maddox, the pitching coach. He'd rather see guys have to hit to go on, to get on, instead of being all over the place. So far, he's locked into the strike zone.
He hits the inside corner there, strike one. Johnny Peralta at the plate. There's Mike Maddox, his pitching coach. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peralta, then Avila. We're in the 2nd inning of game 6. Holland lasted 2 2/3 in game 2. Got a no decision. His team won 7-3-11. That's in the air to right. Well hit at the wall. Home run Peralta, 2-0 Tigers. Johnny Peralta drives one over the wall in right. Another Tigers solo home run, and it's 2-0 here in the 2nd.
Miguel Cabrera with an outside fastball over the right field fence. Now Johnny Peralta, same pitch, 2-seamer, out away from him. 2-0 Tigers.
Peralta hit 21 home runs during the regular season. That's his 2nd of this LCS.
Get up! Get up! Get up! Get out!
Strike one to Avila.
No emotion for Jim Leland. Almost a clinician down there, right?
Yeah, he didn't show anything.
No.
And before the game, he was just sitting on his couch in his office watching college football and giving A.J. Pierzynski trouble when we walked in. Strike two. A.J. got to sit in the captain's chair behind Jim Leland's desk. Jim just stayed on the couch. A.J. answered all the questions we had about the Tigers. Avila strikes out on a pitch in the dirt as Napoli finishes it 2 out.
Cabrera, his home run just got out. Peralta's just got out.
Johnny had a big year with the bat. Slimmed down a bit, had a good year defensively. Here's Brandon Inge, who homered back in Detroit. Ball one, down and away. That ball will obviously jump out of here to right. It does anyway, but the wind is pushing in that direction. That's up and away, 2-0. Talk to players and they'll tell you the wind blowing in and those flags on top of the scoreboard. It comes in, hits the seats, and shoots down out of here out to right. As Inge fouls it back 2-1. Whatever life this crowd brought with them into Rangers ballpark is gone for the moment. 2-0 Tigers in game 6. This one off the end of the bat. Andy Chavez to his left, inning over, but another run. Home run by Johnny Peralta, and like Cabrera before him, shoots one out to right. Bottom of the second. Rangers coming up, down by 2. He's been a part of that. So has Napoli, the guy behind him, and for sure Nelson Cruz hitting 7th. 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Rangers, up 3 games to 2, down 2-0 in this game. Strike 1. Beltre is a career .314 hitter here. 95 RBIs in 114 games played. He's trying to get one up in the jet stream. That's out of play. Strike 2.
You can go right on down the list, Joe. In this ballpark, most hitters hit better here than they do anywhere else. This park led the majors in runs, home runs, and the highest earned run average by pitchers.
The 0-2. Ball 1 up and away. This Texas team during the regular season led the AL in team batting average. In this ALCS, they're hitting .257 to .283 during the regular year. Beltre strikes out on a pitch up around his eyes. 1 out, and the first strikeout for Scherzer.
Shoulder high fastball gets Beltre. Of course, with 2 strikes, that's the time you can expand the strike zone, and he did.
So Beltre has gone, and Napoli will dig in. We had a chance to stand there and talk to Max Scherzer, a real good guy, before game 5 back in Detroit. Pitch is up and in, and after a while you start to look at him and you go, what's different about this guy?
I did. You knew it.
Why? I did.
Right?
I didn't know until we were standing there talking
really?
to him. Yeah. Here's a 1-0. The answer is he's got 2 different colored eyes. And he said he's had fun with it over the years. Guys get freaked out. Guys make fun of him. He can laugh. Jim Leland said when he found out, he said, I bet your favorite song is Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue. He's got 1 brown, 1 blue. And he's got a great personality to go with it. I don't think this stage will bother Max Scherzer at all.
No, I don't either. He just does not talk like it would. That condition, by the way, is called heterochromia. And it is a condition. It's not a malady. It does not affect the eyesight.
That's the third. Inge charges it and throws a strike. 2 out. How about Nelson Cruz? And how about tonight's Get to a Better State recap, brought to you by State Farm for auto, home, life, and banking. He's got 5. Ruth had 4, Staub 3, Stargell 3. In that exclusive category. 2 out, nobody on. A 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike, and we thank State Farm for their help in bringing you postseason baseball here on Fox. Couldn't do it without him. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody on. And Scherzer off to a good start, strike 2.
Now, everybody knows that when you're in scoring position, you're either on second base or third base. For Nelson Cruz in this series, he's in scoring position right now in the box.
He's got 6 hits, 5 have left the park. Set up here at 1-2. And not close, 2-2. slider from Scherzer. 88 miles per hour, 2-2. Not only that, but Nelson Cruz has 46% of the RBIs on his club in this series. It's not just home runs, but Detroit has 9 solo home runs among the 11 they've hit. Here's one into right center. This ball will not be caught. And Nelson Cruz has a 2-out double. He just keeps swinging it.
This is unbelievable. Scherzer looked like a backup slider. We talked about that slider, and if it doesn't go down, it goes out. Well, this one doesn't go out from Nelson Cruz, but it goes out deep enough for the first extra base hit for the Rangers in this game.
And it brings in David Murphy, who's been red hot against right-handed pitching. Since the middle of September, hitting .375. Tying run at the plate here in the second. We talked to Murphy. He said the first 5.5 months were misery. His timing was off. He was underneath everything. Now his timing is back. He can stay on top of the ball and drive it. As Scherzer misses outside, ball 1.
We ran into David Murphy's dad, Mike Murphy, who grew up in Detroit. In fact, he played the high school ball with Milt Pappas on the same team, saying it was a cinder infield, and he was an infielder.
He's raised a great kid, good hitter.
He has.
As he takes inside, 2-0. How about those numbers? April through August and then since. The extra base hits he did basically in the month plus that includes the postseason. But it took him the first 5 months to do. Here comes a 2-0. That will get out of play. 2-1.
That's one swing and one count that you don't want to be jammed. If it's 0-2, a hitter thinks it's okay. That's the best time to jam a hitter. But with the count 2 balls and no strikes, you don't want to be jammed in that count. 3-1, 2-0, 2-1. Obviously, hitter counts.
That hitter is David Murphy. Cruz at second, 2 out. Ball 3 with Andy Chavez, who does not have a hit this postseason, on deck. That's with limited work. Moreland is on the bench. Murphy's the DH. Chavez a left fielder. Challenged him, 96, got it by him, full count. Murphy said the hard part about hitting Scherzer is that he turns his back to you almost, and it's tough to pick up the ball.
Changeup.
And that'll put 2 on with 2 out.
It was not a changeup. It was a fastball to walk David Murphy.
And it brings in Chavez. Andy had a good year during the regular season at .301 in limited work, 5 homers, 27 RBIs. That bottom line, the top line, he's had 1 start this postseason. That was during this ALCS. He's 0 for 3. Ron Washington wondering if he pulled the right string with the lineup tonight. Ball one.
Indy Chavez only about 170 pounds, but don't let that fool you. He can pop one. Ball down and in. That's his power zone. He had 5 home runs on the year and limited at bats.
Hasn't hit one since August 9th. He was out in front of that changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike.
There are a lot of strikes on a changeup and a fastball count.
Scherzer took too long, so Chavez got out. Peralta goes to the bag, and the inning is over. Threat is gone for Texas. We go to the 3rd. Rangers have stranded 3. We've played 2. 2-zip. Tigers on top. Rangers have had 1 starter this entire postseason go semi-deep into a game. But nobody has gotten into the 7th. And they have relied on their bullpen. And names like Ogando and Feliz, Mike Adams. There's another base hit for Santiago. Red hot. And with a good view of that base hit, home plate umpire Tom Hallion, who had a nice moment between innings.
You know you're going to get me in trouble.
Why is that?
Your biggest fan, my wife, said, "Is the president here?" And I said, "No." I said, "Just Laura came. Mrs. Bush came." And so I said, so now she's when she sees it, I think she's right back up there. So when she sees me talking to you, I'm going to be in trouble.
Give her my love.
I will. Thank you. Hi, Laura. How are you? Hi, Nolan. How are you?
Former member of the ownership group here with the Texas Rangers, and he has been a mainstay throughout the postseason here at Rangers Ballpark, right there next to Nolan Ryan. A strike, as they say. Jackson did not pull the bat away, showing bunt. 0-1.
This makes sense from what Jim Leyland was telling us before the game, and the fact that he may pinch hit for Austin Jackson sometime around the 5th.
Jim Leyland went over to pay his respects before the game. Here's the 0-1. Instead, a late break by Santiago, but the throw was on the wrong side of the bag. That's foul. Strike 2.
You would try to sacrifice in this situation rather than hit and run, because Austin Jackson swings through so many pitches. He's not the type of hitter that you hit and run with, coupled with the fact that Santiago does not have good speed. But Jackson fouls this one off, and he's in the hole 0-2.
Didn't really look all that good trying to bunt.
No, he didn't.
Holland has struck out 2. Pretty good swing by Jackson. Still 0-2.
Joe, you talked about the bullpen and seeing Nolan Ryan there. I mean, since Nolan Ryan was made president back in 2008, he has encouraged the starters for the Texas Rangers to pitch deeper into games. They've increased that every year, this being his 4th year.
That's way outside. Ball 1.
And the irony of this series is that the bullpen has been involved as much as they have. The bullpen is 3-0. The starters are 0-2 with an earned run average over 6.
Feldman's been very good. Ogando's been great. Adams, Feliz, Oliver, Gonzalez, even Matt Harrison's down there tonight. Other lefty starter. That's on the corner. 1 out.
Yeah, that's the other side of trying to bunt with Austin Jackson. You get him in the hole, he strikes out a lot, and he takes a slider for a strike.
And our E-Trade stock watch along the lines of what Tim was talking about. The Rangers bullpen is trending up. There are the numbers. The starters 0-2 in ERA over 6.5. And they've allowed 2 more home runs here tonight. Opponents hitting .299 against them. 1 on, 1 out. Did he do it again? 6-4-3. Second time Rayburn has bounced into a twin killing. Let's go to the bottom of the third. Top of the order coming up for the Rangers. Down by 2. For the year, but a lot of power for the Texas second baseman. Left side, diving stop by Inge. Out at first, and what a play on both ends. 1 away.
Boy, that was a tough scoop by Cabrera. Terrific play. Full extension by Inge. And an in-between hop picked by Cabrera. That is a tough hop. Nicely done, says Max Scherzer. And Inge. And half of Detroit.
Especially with these bats coming up, Elvis Andrus. Sounds like the World Cup all of a sudden. Pitch up and in, ball 1. Elvis lined a single in the left center his first time up. Pretty good pitch off the corner, just a bit. 2-0.
Have to wait until 2014 when the World Cup will be played in Rio in the Olympics 2 years later.
With 1 out, nobody on. Here comes a 2-0. 3-0 with Hamilton next. A 1-out walk. And the second walk handed by Scherzer to the Rangers. MLB playoffs continue tomorrow with Game 6 of the NLCS between the Cards and Brewers. Cards up 3-2 at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on TBS. And then tomorrow night, if necessary, our coverage resumes Game 7 and a matchup of Doug Fister, who's been so good, against Colby Lewis. And we're on the air at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Fox. However, if this series ends tonight, meaning the Rangers win the TBS game, and the Cardinals and Brewers will shift to a primetime start. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. 1 on, 1 out. Ball 1. 5 straight have missed from Scherzer. Started him with another changeup. He got Hamilton to get one off the end of the bat, flied out to right his first time up. Has not gone deep this postseason. Hamilton bothered by a sore groin. And that's how long it's been. 13 games since his last long ball. Off the hands, good pitch. Strike 1.
Play on the hitter's aggressiveness as Max Scherzer realizes that Hamilton likes the ball inside. He went a little deeper inside to even the count.
Andrus, the runner at first, stole second, back in the first. Scherzer takes a moment to slow it down. Since the 4th of July, this Texas team has been hard to beat here in Arlington. 31-12, and they average over 6.5 runs per game. Off the hands into shallow left. Delman Young won't get there. And Elvis Andrews only makes it to second. First and second, one out.
Elvis Andrews did not get a good read on that, realizing that Delman Young had to play deep and respect Hamilton's power, even though he's in left field. I think in that situation, even though you're trailing by 2, you take a chance here. A little safety first for Andrus. Now, granted, while he's on second, Ron Washington saying that his team steals third as well as they steal second. So that's something to look for right here with Michael Young up.
2 on, 1 out. Line drive into the corner, fair. 1 run scores, that's Andrews. Hamilton digging around. This game is tied on a double by Michael Young.
Once again, that's what happens when that slider doesn't go down. Michael Young with a rope just fair to tie this game up. I'll tell you, Hamilton got around the bases in a hurry with the pulled ground.
Watch him take the trip. And if Leland was reserved on the home run by Peralta to right, Ron Washington is the polar opposite.
I was thinking the same thing. Jim said, get out, get out. Nothing. Ron Washington looked like he was a third base coach then.
Now Beltre, go ahead, run at second, 1 out. Ball 1.
If you're a right-handed hitter for the Rangers, you're saying to yourself, well, Sergio has been, as Rick Porcello is now loosening for Detroit. Scherzer's been hurt with a slider twice. It's going to be a while before he throws that pitch again. He was hurt to Nelson Cruz, who hit the slider to right center, and then the bigger hit, Michael Young down the left field line.
Up the middle. Here comes Young. Jackson kicks it in center, and the Rangers have their first lead of Game 6.
Fastball away. Scherzer got the ground ball right back up the middle. Bobbled by Jackson, but no advance by Beltre as the Rangers take the lead.
Napoli. Strike 1, and these Rangers fans are lit up now. A franchise that had not won a postseason series until last year. They got to the World Series after beating the Rays, and the Yankees lost to the Giants. They've beaten the Rays again this year, trying to knock off the Tigers. 2-1 as Daniel Schlereth joins Porcello for the Tigers in their bullpen. Channing Napoli.
Texas Rangers enjoying their most popular period in their history since arriving here in Arlington in 1972. Ted Williams, the first manager.
Three and one. This might be it for Scherzer here in the third if he doesn't get Napoli. On deck, Nelson Cruz. Got it by him, 93. Full count. There goes Beltre on ball 4. 2 on, 1 out.
Boy, what a key walk that was by Scherzer, because it brings up this guy. No place to put him.
Cruz doubled into right center his first time up against Scherzer. On deck, the lefty Murphy. In the bullpen, Schlereth, but on the mound, Scherzer trying to keep it a one-run game. Good heat, 95, right by the bat of Nelson Cruz. Strike 2. See what Cruz has done in this series. LCS. Here's an 0-2. Ball 1. Two and 2. Runner stealing third on a foul ball, and Beltre could have walked over there.
Certainly going in standing up. Max Scherzer did not make him stop at second base. Beltre with a Almost a running jump from second.
Two on, one out. Did he go? No. Full count.
Boy, that's a huge non-swing. Very, very close. Tigers got the break with the ball hitting the bag in Game 5. A big break right here. No strikeout called on Cruz. I think he went around.
And instead of out number 2, it's ball number 3, a full count. Almost hit him to load the bases. David Murphy will be the hitter. Schlereth in the bullpen. Here comes Jim Leland. He has not made a call to the pen yet. But Scherzer getting roughed up in the third, and Schlereth was not on the list of guys before the game Leland would go to.
What a time for a first appearance in the LCS.
Schlereth with the bases loaded, 1 out. His team down by 1 here in the third inning of Game 6. Mark played in the NFL, now an analyst with ESPN. And you can imagine what's going on in the Schlereth household with their 25-year-old son stepping into this situation. Bases loaded, 1 out. David Murphy at the plate. The Tigers still in it, down by 1. First appearance of this series. Just missed for ball 1.
You can relax in this situation as Ryan Perry is up with Rick Porcello. But if you can relax in this situation, you can relax anytime. Nothing bothers you.
Good pitch. 93 from Schlereth, who during the regular season was 2-2. An ERA of 3.49 in 49 games. 49 innings, he allowed only 36 hits. Some control issues, 31 walks. To go with 44 strikeouts. Scherzer is finished. Now it's Schlereth. Breaking ball stays inside, ball 2. Into center field, a base hit. Beltre scores. Here comes Napoli. It's cut off. And it's a 3-run Ranger lead. 5-2 in the third.
We've talked about it several times. There are no soft spots in this Ranger lineup. Their 9th hitter is batting .301 on the year. And here's David Murphy against the left-hander to single in 2 more runs. Fastball inside, hammered to center by Murphy.
Now Craig Gentry will come off the bench to bat for Andy Chavez as Napoli slides across. It's a 5-2 game. 7 straight have reached. And they may be stalling for time to get the right-hander, either Perry or Porcello, in the game right now. They're ready.
And here comes Jim Leyland.
Tough spot for Schlereth. Bases loaded, 1 out, and Murphy ahead on the count with a 2-run single to center. Back to the bullpen. In comes Porcello. Tigers down by 3. Man to bat in the inning is Gentry. Batting for Andy Chavez. 2 on, 1 out. Porcello, who was the starter in game 4 and worked well. There are his numbers this postseason. Missing with ball 1. Inside, 2-0. Here's what the Rangers have done this inning with the manager Ron Washington cheering them on. 8 batters. The only out was the diving stop by Inge at third to start the inning. A walk, a single, double, single, back-to-back walks, and a 2-run hit. To the right side. A race to the bag. The out at second. It's first and third. And now Jim Leyland's going to argue. They say the runner at second was safe to load him up. And Jim Leyland's going to try and get an explanation from Larry Vanover. Let's take another look.
Well, Santiago's play was to first base. It looked to me like Murphy was coming up at second. It's very close. Nope. Had him.
He was out, but called safe. It was extremely close, and the bases are loaded with 1 out.
The play was first base, and I think Santiago would have gone to first had it not been for the fact that Cabrera came over. He was guarding the hole, and Porcello wasn't over at first in time to get Gentry.
And now the bases are loaded, 1 out. Scored a fielder's choice. Kinsler could bust this thing open. That's down the line, foul. And here's another look at that last play.
Well, you can see Miguel Cabrera. He's off the bag. He tries for the ball. And now Porcello is at first base. It's a much easier play. Had Santiago gone to first, he elects to go to second, and the Tigers don't get the call.
Bases loaded, 1 out, the 1-1. Kinsler, the only spot in this lineup not to reach base. Already, we're only in the 3rd. Robbed of a hit to start this 3rd inning. Base hit. Cruz scores. A left fielder, Delman Young, boots it. Throw to the plate too late. Both runners advance. It's 7-2.
Third base coach Dave Anderson was going to stop David Murphy. And he waited until the last minute. And once Young dropped the ball, Murphy was waved home. And on the throw home, the runners advanced. Excellent base running by everybody with the Rangers. There it is. Check Dave Anderson, the third base coach. He waited and waited and waited, and when Young bobbled the ball, The other runners moved up. Excellent base running by a good base running team.
Now Andres chops it foul down the third base line. It's a single and an error off the bat of Ian Kinsler. After the fielder's choice, hit into by Gentry. Infield is in the 0-1. To the shortstop, Peralta comes home, and Gentry's caught in a rundown. And tagged by Avila, but the runners move up to second and third, 2 out.
Yeah, that's a good play, second and third with a big lead. You force the infield to make the play. And Gentry getting in a rundown to give the hitter, Elvis Andrus, a chance to get to second base. Kinsler moving over as Avila runs the runner back.
Now the Tigers will walk Hamilton to load him up for Michael Young. And by the way, on the ball hit by Kinsler into left that Delman Young booted, he gets an error with the runners advancing, but Kinsler gets 2 RBIs. And this will load him up after the fielder's choice 6-2 as Peralta came home. Michael Young, who got the first RBIs of this inning and game for the Rangers, tied it up with a 2-run double. Earlier in this inning, will bat with the bases loaded. Into right field, slicing down the line fair. The ball stays in play. 2 runs will score. And Hamilton had to put the brakes on around third. It's 9-2 in the third inning.
How about Michael Young in this inning? A double down the left field line. A double down the right field line. 2 doubles, 4 RBIs for Michael Young in this inning. On the line, just barely inside the line.
Porcello is finished. The Rangers are not. What an inning. 9-2. We roll on in this bottom of the third.
I'm burning out this useless telephone.
My hair is gone.
All alone. Burning up the room with cheap cologne. The musty motorhome.
I'm the Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. Burning out his fuse up here alone.
Burning out his fuse up here alone.
I told you it wasn't provolone.
Crystal Clear Fender Premium Audio. One of many premium features available on the all-new Volkswagen Passat.
Jenny O took over a restaurant just for a day to show the world a better burger. Now, millions of turkey burgers later, we're still out to win over burger lovers.
It's really good.
It tastes great. Delicious burger.
I would definitely have a turkey burger again.
Enjoy your burgers cooked thoroughly to 165. It's time for a better burger.
This is fantastic.
Make the switch. Look for Jenny O at a store near you and join us at switchtoturkey.com.
If shopping for insurance were like shopping for diapers, you might think all these cost about the same, protect about the same. But what if you have an accident? Allstate Accident Forgiveness starts the day you sign up. These guys might make you wait a couple of years.
We can't wait a couple years.
No, you cannot.
Thanks.
Don't mention it. Shop less, get more. Make one call to an Allstate agent.
Call Allstate now, and you'll also get a free lifetime membership in Good Hands Roadside Assistance.
Get your cash back!
Oh, hi.
Which cashback booth looks better to you? Chase Freedom or the largest cashback card?
Oh, I'll try the largest.
Oh, that is too bad. Apparently you don't know. Chase Freedom guarantees you 1% cash back. 4 times more than the largest cashback card, which only gives you 0.25% until you spend $3,000 every year. But have fun. Bob and weave once you're in there.
Don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back. Chase Freedom.
Ryan Perry is in the game, second and third, 2 out. It has been a 9-run third inning. And now Adrian Beltre steps in. They just keep coming at you. There is no let up in this Rangers lineup. Strike one from Perry.
Not only at the plate, Joe, but on the bases, too. They have run the bases very, very well here in this third inning.
Here's an 0-1. That got a lot of Avila. Strike 2.
Looked like it got Alex in the crease. That crease is right in the knee joint. Nope, got him on the left foot. Wow. He was really taking a beating back there during this series after a long, long season.
He has shown how tough he is. 2 bad knees. Jim Leyland has not been able to rest him. Here is an 0-2 from Perry. Low. When we talked to Jim Leyland before the game, he said, I want Scherzer for 5, maybe into the 6th. Go to Porcello, Coke, Benoit, Valverde. If I have to go to other guys in my pen, we're likely going home tomorrow.
That's exactly what he said.
He's had to go to Schlereth. Now Perry. And here's a ball that was not hit as well as those behind the plate thought, or those in the booth. Rick Gentry now in the game in center. All those runs were earned. 6 charged to Scherzer, the starter, 1 to Schlereth, 2 to Porcello. Now it's Perry in the game. Ball 1 to Cabrera. Holland has a 9-2 cushion here in the 4th. So a franchise record, Tim, 9 runs in the bottom of the 3rd.
First time that the Texas Rangers pitchers can pitch to these 2 guys and breathe a little bit. Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez on deck.
Ron Washington won back-to-back divisional titles as Scott Feldman gets loose. And he is on his way, unless the Tigers really rally, to winning back-to-back AL pennants. Here comes a 2-2. Cabrera takes strike 3.
Derek Holland got a fastball in on the hands to Miguel Cabrera to get him. That was a perfect pitch right in on the hands to get Cabrera, and it's got to be perfect.
Strikeout number 4. And even the home plate umpire, Tom Hallion's all fired up. Umpiring in his 5th LCS. Rung up Cabrera, 1 out. Here's Victor Martinez. .95 for strike 1. Into right field, Victor Martinez on with a 1-out hit, his first hit of the night, and the 5th of the night for Detroit. Tonight's game sponsored by the all-new Volkswagen Passat. That's Das Auto. And by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. Here's Delman Young. Tigers need something to jump back into this game. This is a ballpark where runs can come fast, as the Rangers just proved. There's strike one. Young struck out his first time. In the hole, 0-2. Inside. Remember, the Rangers won the final day of the regular season. A couple of home runs by Napoli. Beat the Angels, and that gave the Rangers home field advantage in this LCS over Detroit. You can bet this crowd, as the Tigers had at home, gives a big advantage to this Rangers club here in Arlington. 2 out. Tomorrow on the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show, Jimmy evaluates the change. And then Pam and the A crew, Tom Brenneman, Troy Aikman, Richie Zients, Rich Russo will be in Foxborough for the Patriots and the Dallas Cowboys, with a game that everybody in these parts will be watching with great purpose, as the Cowboys will go into that game off a bye week 2-2. Coming off a real disappointing loss at home to the Lions. Into center. Gentry back. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the fourth here in Arlington. 20. Nobody expected that. Tied for 10th in the AL. 30 home runs. Leading it off in the bottom of the fourth, up 9-2. If you think A.J. Pierzynski just works pre and post game here at Fox, he did not read the fine print in his contract. He's always on call.
Put in the work.
I don't know if I want to talk about what we're about to discuss here. It brings back really bad memories.
We're going to talk about September 3rd. You and the White Sox were up on Detroit 8-1 in the 5th. What happened?
I said I didn't want to talk about it, Joe. Why do you got to keep bringing it up?
That's just bad pitch calling by the catcher of the White Sox.
Put down the wrong fingers, AJ.
I agree 100%. We were up 8-1 in the 5th, and they started chipping away. I remember seeing the highlights after the game of Jim Leland walking up and down the dugout of the Tigers saying, "Hey, let's go, just chip away, chip away, chip away," and they sure did it. And I remember Miguel Cabrera and Ryan Rayburn both hit home runs in the 9th inning to walk us off, and it was pretty much the end of the White Sox season.
Those two guys are in the lineup tonight. You know Jim Leland's not going to quit down in that dugout. Veteran in his 6th postseason.
Absolutely. That's what he does. One of the things he does best is he keeps his team going, and he keeps his team in the game no matter what the situation or where they're at. That's why he's won a World Series. He's been back another time.
He's a big fan of yours too, by the way, as is Ron Washington, the manager of the Rangers.
I know. I said that's because they always get me out and they beat up the teams I'm on. They always beat up on us, so that's why they like me so much.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Napoli with Cruz and Murphy coming up, and that'll be skied into right. Rayburn is there for out number 1.
The one thing I remember about that day, it was kind of rainy, and I remember that Wilson Bedeman hit a home run kind of to get the momentum going in the 7th. I believe it was the 7th inning, and that kind of set off a chain reaction because it was off Will Oman, and then it got us into different guys. We had to bring in Chris Sale, Jesse Crane, and they just all kind of slowly gave up a hit here, a walk there, and next thing you know, we're behind.
Batter is Nelson Cruz. That's A.J. Pierzynski. Cruz has had another productive game. He's doubled, he's walked, he's scored a run, and he takes outside, ball 1.
If they do it against the Rangers tonight, they'll be doing it against the hottest bullpen, one of the hottest bullpens in LCS history.
Yeah, AJ's team wasn't bringing Ogando out of the pen.
No.
Neftali Feliz, no offense. It's Feldman if they need a long guy. Big swing by Cruz, 1-1. Arms like that, AJ, can make a catcher and a manager look like a genius. Here is a 1-1. 1 out, nobody on. That's down, 2-1. You're looking at the guy at the plate who, barring the miraculous, will win the MVP award for the ALCS. 2-2.
One thing that may have gone unnoticed in the third inning was that check swing that was called a ball, and eventually Cruz walked. That was a huge play in that inning that could have led to 4 more runs.
You thought he went around. I thought he went around, and I guarantee you that man thought he went around.
Yep.
And now Cruz gets attention from the trainer and Ron Washington after that big swing. He is trying to stretch out his right side. Here's that last swing.
Not yet another oblique. You could see him wince on that swing, and not a good sign for Ranger fans who have seen a red-hot Nelson Cruz. And if they hold this lead, a second consecutive trip to the World Series.
Well, if you're Ron Washington, why even mess with it?
Yeah, with the 7-run lead. I agree with you.
That was in the third inning, that check swing. And that was the damage in that inning. 9 runs, 6 hits, 4 walks. Cruz stays at the plate. Counts 2-2. Check swing would have been out number 2. And he's wincing after that swing. I understand playing through pain and all that, but this Texas team right now with their bullpen, they have a commanding lead. And I don't know why this at bat would continue for Nelson Cruz. He flies one into left center. Back at the wall. This ball is allowed out. Strange side or not, wincing or not, he can give a baseball a ride. That was about 400 feet into more center than left. 2 out. Is he locked in, Tim? Ooh, boy. They may have a little talk. Michael Young's in on it too. I think they're going to try and talk him out of the lineup.
Of course, you have an infielder, Esteban Herman, Ravit Turrialba, and Mitch Moreland. Gentry's already in the game, and I think Michael Young, certainly one of the leaders on that team, talking to Nelson Cruz.
Murphy trying to drop one into left, and he does. A 2-out single. They could lose the DH if they wanted.
That's right.
Meaning you could put Murphy's glove in left. Move guys around, move Hamilton to right.
And if they do that, of course, the pitcher will become the DH, hitting in the DH spot. But they have a 7-run lead, and you can afford that, perhaps, if they elect to go that route.
Gentry 1 on, 2 out. Batting in the 9 spot. Ball 1 from Perry. The X factor, to coin a phrase, is the bullpen for Texas. There are 7-run leads, and then with the kind of pen they have, there are 7-run leads. And how about Murphy running up 9-2 here in the bottom of the 4th? The count's 2-0 on Gentry.
A lot of baseball left. Even though they have a 7-run lead, I mean, the Rangers are trying to finish the Tigers off. Remember, Whitey Herzog, the great manager, Hall of Famer for the St. Louis Cardinals, said one time, "We won't run with a big lead if you don't try to score."
If you promise not to try to score anymore, we won't run.
Right.
Gentry with a runner at second, 2 out. Inge charges, gets the high hop, and the inning is over. We go to the 5th here in Game 6. Texas leading 9-2. Back after this. Spreading across the Metroplex area.
What's the name of it?
It's called the Ron Washington. It looks like this. That's how you finish it right there. There is no manager like him in the game today. Can you, I mean, you've been around this game a long time. Can you think of anybody else in that mold?
No.
That shows that much in the dugout?
Ron, born 59 years ago in New Orleans and showing some of that New Orleans jazz. One of the great jazz cities in the world.
He loves his job. He gets, I think, these guys on a different plane. They feed off him. And when we've talked about Ian Kinsler, Michael Young, they say they've grown together. Ron Washington came in, and by Ron's own admission, he said, "I didn't know anything about pitching. I had to learn that as a manager." And they've watched him become a better in-game manager, and he's watched them become a tight group that goes out there and beats up on teams, and they're doing that here today in Game 6. The count's 2-2 on Brandon Inge as Feldman continues to get loose. Base hit right field by Inge. On with 1 out. Ken Rosenthal, how about your thoughts on manager Ron Washington in his 5th season?
Well, Joe, he has always been his own man. And if you see the movie Moneyball, there's a great scene in which he and Billy Beane are visiting Scott Hatteberg's house. And Billy says to Scott, "Hey, no problem. You can learn first base. It's not hard at all." And Wash says, "It's incredibly hard." And even in the book, there's a great scene in which Washington, Thad Bosley, the hitting coach then for the A's, and Ray Durham are talking. And they were dissidents to the whole Moneyball, don't run, don't be aggressive on the bases thing. And Wash was very vocal in his opinions, and that remains true today.
He is not the most conventional manager even in game with some of the decisions that he makes, but he is aggressive. As Santiago hits one down the left field line, and Hamilton over to give it a look. Does he have a play? And reaching across maybe was a fan. Don't say it. Don't say the name. Yeah, I think that fan.
No relation to Steve Barton.
Ah, you said it.
I'm sorry. We have to identify it. We can't leave the audience in the lurch.
Moises Alou was the one down the line at Wrigley back in 2003. Not exactly the same situation.
No.
Here is a 1-1 to Santiago. That's foul.
It's funny, Joe, with the series that Nelson Cruz is having, how Moneyball and that book and movies kind of changed the language in baseball. It used to be that a guy like that was a money ball player. But since Moneyball players equal on-base percentages. So we've gone from clutch to on-base percentages.
95 from Holland misses inside, and the count 1-2.
Brad Pitt could win an Oscar performance in that movie, right?
Sure. Here's a chopper to Kinsler. He'll go to first for out number 2.
You didn't say that. You didn't agree with me with a great deal of zeal.
I'm not a member of the Academy. I don't know. I think, yeah, quite possibly Jonah Hill. All of them. The guy who played Ron Washington, he'll definitely be nominated.
He was terrific.
He was great.
Yeah. It's incredibly tough.
I didn't see it.
It's incredibly. Oh,
I haven't seen it.
Get out of here.
I didn't see it yet. I will.
That's an automatic fine.
You're the one taking 2 games off in this series. I was working.
Yeah, but I didn't see Moneyball. Then I saw it before that.
No, I will. I promise. My daughter saw it. My 15-year-old daughter saw it. Natalie, she loved it.
Did she?
Which
it's a good
tells
movie.
me it's a great movie.
It's a good flick.
I think Brad Pitt had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Here's a fly ball into right. Well hit. This one's gone off the bat of Austin Jackson. And the lead now is 5 for Texas as Jackson goes deep into right. 9-4 here in the 5th.
Well, that's what AJ was talking about. How the Tigers can peck. 2-run home run by Austin Jackson. His first home run in the postseason.
And that could very well be it for Holland. And it is. He cannot get the win. Feldman will enter. It's a 5-run game in the 5th of game 6 here in Texas. 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, no walks. And they will take over with 2 out in the 5th inning and Rayburn up. Wouldn't take much more for the Tigers to feel they had a chance in this game. The tight breaking ball is in for a strike. Rayburn now, if he gets on Cabrera. A 5-run game in the 5th, 2 out. Strike 2. And they're not going to mess around. Alexi Ogando is getting loose. That is a ball into left, well hit. Back is Hamilton to end the inning. What a catch. Either a wince or a smile.
That might be one of the biggest catches when a team has a 5-run lead that you'll see.
What an effort by Josh Hamilton. Halfway through game 6. Base. You could see Jackson take his eye off it, call for it prior to that, and then Rayburn got his glove on it, couldn't hang on.
Miscommunication in right center field. It's actually Rayburn's ball because the ball hit by the right-handed batter is tailing to the right fielder and going away from the center fielder. So it's Rayburn's ball, and he drops it when Jackson collides.
It's an error on Rayburn, the right fielder. Andres bunts, and it is perfect. And can't get the out. First and third, nobody out. And the Rangers come right back.
Boy, a beautiful bunt. At the very worst, it would be a sacrifice. Inge went back to the bag, then he charged, too late to get to Speedy Andrews.
And now Josh Hamilton, who just made that catch out in left. First and third, nobody out. And here's that catch.
Oh, that's some play.
see the give in the fence with him pressing back against that scoreboard out there. It's a metal fence with rubber coating. It has a lot of give, and that's good news for Hamilton and the Rangers. First and third, nobody out. Ball one. One ball, one strike. Brad Penny getting loose again. Hamilton takes outside, 2-1. The 2-1. Good rip by Hamilton. 2-2. Geico in-game box score for the Rangers as they bat here in the fifth. And you'll see hits and runs and RBIs up and down that lineup.
And we're only in the fifth.
Big night from Michael Young, 4 RBIs. That ball will get out of play. Michael Young went the first 8 postseason games here in 2011 with no RBIs in the cleanup spot. He had 4 RBIs in that 9-run third. That is hit hard and deep. It will be a sac fly to the track. Tagging and scoring is Kinsler, and it's 10-4 in the fifth. As Hamilton just missed riding his first postseason home run out of here.
I think he hit it on the end of the bat. Looked like a changeup from Ryan Perry. Not quite enough. That ball tailing just on the end of the bat. But Hamilton gets the run in, and now it's a 6-run lead.
Rayburn got on the track. Kinsler scored easily. Kinsler reached on the error, and now the batter is Michael Young. Andrews at first, 1 out. And the Rangers have proven they will continue to run. Strike 1 on Young.
First LCS was 1969. That's when it was a best 3 out of 5 series. That continued for another 15 years. And then in 1985, the first 4 out of 7 LCS.
There goes Andrews on a foul straight back. And it's 0-2. Just to give you one more stat along those lines, since they went to best of 7 in 1985 in LCS history, the home team coming back for game 6 up 3-2. Only 4 teams have lost in that situation in the LCS. 85 Blue Jays, 91 Pirates, 03 Cubs, and the 04 New York Yankees to the Red Sox.
That 91 Pirates team, of course, managed by Jim Leland.
There he goes. Pitch out. Throw down by Avila. He is in time for out number 2. And it's a 1-2 count on Michael Young.
Easy play for Avila. Watch the pitch out. And a good throw to get Andrus.
That's out number 2 of the inning. And Young waits for a 1-2 from Ryan Perry. 2-2. Perry throwing hard. Tigers got 2 in the top half. The Rangers have come back with 1 and lead by 6. Full count. Broken bat just shattered. Inge makes the play and the inning is over, and Inge is saved again by Cabrera. 10-4. Rangers on top after 5 in Arlington. Down by 6. First pitch swinging is Miguel Cabrera, and how good has Alexi Ogando, who started this year for Texas, been this postseason.
One of the better moves or non-moves by the Rangers in not having Alexi Ogando start here in the postseason, keeping him in the bullpen. What a shrewd move by Ron Washington and Mike Maddox.
What a weapon.
Ooh. He might have the best pure arm on the Texas staff.
The 0-2. Wouldn't go after it. The 28-year-old right-hander is Ogando from the Dominican Republic. And he starts his night with a strikeout.
Slider diving out of the strike zone to get Cabrera.
Last 7-run comeback in postseason history of the 08 Red Sox. Trailed Tampa Bay 7-0 in the 7th in Game 5. This is Game 6, and the Tigers are down by 6, facing elimination here tonight. Martinez takes a strike. Ogando is a starter this year. Started 29 games and was 13-8. ERA of 3.5. Here's a 1-1. Back up the middle, and Victor Martinez 2 out of 3. 1 on, 1 out.
1 out now. Got 1 down. Base to base unless you can get there real easy.
You can hear Tom Brookins give the instructions base to base unless you can get there easy, meaning don't take third or try to, down by 6.
Run 1 base at a time when you're trailing by 6.
Delman Young at the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Ball 1. Last year for the Rangers, when Texas got all the way to the World Series, Ogando worked only out of the bullpen. One ball, 1 strike. Tonight's Chase Freedom Cashback players to watch: Delman Young, who has hit 5 home runs this postseason. And Nelson Cruz, you know what he's done. We've talked about it all night, all series. Strike 2. Don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back with Chase Freedom. Two out.
After the strikeout with the slider to get Cabrera, 3 sliders to get Delman Young. So Gondo with that long reach. He's listed at only 6'4½", but has a tremendous wingspan.
Now
very long arms.
Peralta, who homered his first time, 1 for 2. On the outside corner, strike 1. We told you at the start Ron Washington was going to manage tonight like his team was down 3 games to 2. He wants it to end tonight, not have to worry about Doug Fister, the Game 7 starter. That's foul. So he used Feldman for 1 out. He's got Ogando probably for 2. He's got Mike Adams and Feliz. That's foul. Where Napoli wanted it, 1-2. High heat, 97. Wow. And Ogando strikes out the side. How about this Rangers bullpen? How about Ogando? 10th consecutive years Brad Penny takes over. First postseason appearance for Penny, so it's been a while. And welcome to the game. This ball is hit hard and off the wall by Beltran. 1 pitch and a double.
Talk about a guy who comes up looking fastball out over the plate, gets it, and just crushes it. It was like game 1 or game 2 when Beltran hit the first pitch high fastball off Jose Valverde. That was when the Rangers loaded the bases with nobody out in the 9th inning of a tie game. They eventually won it in the 11th, but they failed to score in the 9th.
Now Napoli. Ball 1. Perry did a nice job while he was in there, an inning and a third. A lot of run. It was not earned. A couple of hits. No walks or strikeouts. Good fastball at 94 from Penny. And it's 1-1. There's Nelson Cruz, who grabbed his side in his last at bat. Wants to keep going here tonight. The 1-1. That got Avila again. And he's laughing about it, but that's to keep from crying. It's been a painful postseason.
Nobody knows more about that than the guy at the bat. That foul ball right off the right shoulder. It's padded. But a pitch like that goes right through the padding. Helps a little, but not much.
Here's home plate umpire earlier, Tom Hallion, talking to Avila.
Alex, buddy, how are you? Good, good, good. Have a good one and don't get hit too much. I got you. I'm good. Well, just because you're used to it. Let's try to give him a little bit of time. Okay, no problem. You're unbelievable. I've never seen anybody get hit as much as you do.
Now Napoli hits a two-hopper to Peralta for out number 1. Those foul tips have just found Avila.
Alex's dad, who was the assistant general manager of the Tigers, his grandfather, Ralph Avila. Here's Al. Alex's grandfather, Ralph Avila, signing 39 Dominican players. Just unbelievable. And I mean big name players. One of the great scouts in the history of the game.
Runner at second, 1 out, and a ball down and away to Nelson Cruz. Hands down the MVP of this ALCS. To this point, Nelson Cruz in a single postseason series all time. Look at these names, including a longtime Texas Ranger, Juan Gonzalez. 5 home runs. As he gets under this one and fouls it down the left field line, 2-1. Five homers against Tiger pitching. The 2-1. Hard hit right at Inge. 2 out. Even his outs are loud. And once again, tonight's Volkswagen Passat trivia question. What's the meaning of the Mendoza line, and for which of these two teams did the person based on that phrase once play? It's a batting average around 200 in reference to Mario Mendoza, who was a shortstop for 9 seasons in the 70s and 80s. Had a career average of 215. So not 200. As they'll walk Murphy. And for Mendoza, primarily played for the Pirates, but also spent time with the Mariners and Texas. And in his native Mexico, his nickname is Manos de Sada, or Silk Hands, in honor of his fielding prowess.
One of the wonderful guys to have played the game over the last several decades, and I've always thought it was so unfair. The guy was a 215 hitter, and everybody identified him with a hitter that hit under 200 for his career, and that is simply not the case. A great guy with a great attitude about the whole thing.
Gentry will walk to the plate. Runners on at first and second, 2 out. Gentry is hitless, 0 for 2 since entering this game back in that 9-run third. Pinch hit for Endy Chavez. Tigers in the 7th will have the bottom 3 in their lineup: Avila, Inge, and Santiago. Ball 1 from Brad Penny, trying to get around that leadoff double. Left side, base hit. Here comes Beltre. The throw by Young, not in time. And it's 11-4 Rangers in the 6th as Gentry gets in on the front.
Brad Penny failed to back up home, and that could have been another run scored, as Alex Avila actually barehanded the throw from Delman Young in left field. So one run scores easily, rather easily, Adrian Beltre. And Alex Avila barehanding the ball, but watch Brad Penny. He's supposed to be behind home plate, he's not. That leaves all this area back here available for if the ball gets by Avila and another run scores.
11-4. And here's Kinsler, first and third, 2 out. Ian with 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Murphy went first to third. These Rangers take an extra base any chance they get. They don't just slug. Base hit, and it's 12-4 as Kinsler knocks in his 3rd of the night.
Kinsler jammed a bit, but over the head of Inge to score the 12th run in this game.
Biggest lead of the night. Elvis Andrews at the plate. That gets away, and the runners advance.
We talked about the reputation of the Texas Rangers, Joe. That's the reputation they had when they were in 3 or 4 postseasons from '96 through '99. They just stood back and slugged. But last year and this year, they can pitch, they can hit, and they can run, and they can field.
Dave Dombrowski in his 10th year as GM of the Tigers. That is foul down the left field line. Dombrowski's won it all with Jim Leyland and the Marlins back in '97. Regarded as one of the best in any front office across baseball. Built the Marlins, built the Tigers with his friend Jim Leyland. He was trying to get him back to the World Series. They went there in '06. Two balls and a strike. On the outside corner, 2-2.
It's an old devil moon for the Tigers.
Here comes a 2-2 from Brad Penny. Andrews spoiled it.
That's the thing about the Rangers this year and last year as opposed to a decade ago. They don't strike out a lot. In fact, they struck out fewer than any other major league team. They are a group of individuals who can put the bat on the ball. Don't just stand back from their heels and launch things.
Here's a 2-2. Back up the middle, and Penny will end the inning with that play, but the Rangers get 2 more. and lead by 8 as we go to the 7th, game 6. Texas trying to end it tonight and head to the World Series. Back after this from your local Fox station. For the 7th inning, 12-4 game. And Ogando back to the hill. He struck out the side in the 6th, got around a 1-out hit by Victor Martinez. Ball 1 inside to Alex Avila. Avila in Santiago. We're going to test your telestrator skills.
Good.
See if you're in postseason form.
I'm ready for it, Bell.
Out of play, 1 ball, 1 strike. Neftali Feliz will start throwing a rock around the bullpen. A weighted ball. Here's a 1-1. Good tight breaking ball from Ogando, strike 2.
Every time you see a closer with a weighted ball, you think of Mariano Rivera. He doesn't throw it, but it's one of his exercises. Feliz, one of the best in the game.
And young, only 23. Wow. How about the combo of Feliz and Ogando? Between them, they can throw 200 miles per hour. Here's a 2-2. Avila clunks 1 to second. Kinsler has time. Okay, Tim, here we go.
All right.
1 out in the 7th. The playoffs continue tomorrow with game 6 of the NLCS. Hold on a minute. Between the Cardinals and Brewers at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on TBS. However, if this series is over, nice. This network will carry the X Factor, an all-new 2-hour The X Factor tomorrow night, and TBS do like an arrow down. Well, it's over with. They become prime time.
So you think you're messing with, pal?
That was impressive. Troy Aikman is watching in Foxborough, Massachusetts, proud of the job you did with the telestrator. Fly ball into right center field, and Cruz can do it all. I mean, you talk about making hard things look easy. Using his arm, his bat, now his glove on the run in right center.
Well, you know, we talked about it when Rayburn dropped that ball, how it's the right fielder's ball and the right-handed hitter. A right fielder's ball with the ball tailing back to him.
With 2 out, Santiago takes strike 1. So again, Cardinals and Brewers go to a night game tomorrow at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on TBS for game 6, with St. Louis up 3 games to 2 if this series is over. Here on Fox, the X Factor. With 2 out, nobody on, the 1-1 pitch from Ogando to Santiago. Popped up. Kinsler out of view. And it's time to stretch here in Texas. Nelson Cruz made that. Josh Hamilton first up. Sac fly his last time up. Ball 1 up and away. They're watching down in Australia. They're watching all over the globe as the Texas Rangers trying to wrap up their 2nd consecutive AL pennant. The count 2-0. Hard hit. Cabrera makes the stop for out number 1. Tonight's game summary is brought to you by Liberty Mutual. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Rangers have a 9-run third to their credit. Biggest inning in franchise postseason history. Michael Young with 4 RBIs in that long third. The Tigers have hit 3 home runs to account for their 4 runs.
Michael Young showing how he drove in 100 runs with hitting only 11 home runs in the process. Well, that's a ton of important hits for this ball club, and that's what he had in 1 inning tonight.
Here's the 1-0. When everybody was wondering if Ron Washington would move Michael Young out of the cleanup spot after going 8 games this postseason without an RBI, he said, "You're talking about Michael Young. He'll come around. He's my guy." And that's what these players love about Washington, is that he sticks up for his guys and doesn't embarrass anybody through the media or in that locker room. Here's one to center, and Washington's guy goes deep. And Michael Young hits his first of this postseason. Ball 1 to Beltre.
Hey, that's a lot of power for a hitter who only had 11 home runs during the season. To hit it about 430 feet to straightaway center field.
Penny's had that long layoff after the regular season. He's given up 3. A strike to Beltre. Here's a 1-1. 2-1. Rangers players telling us during this ALCS last year when we got to the World Series, we tightened up. We didn't play our game. We didn't do what we did to get there. And vowed to let that not happen again as the count's full on Beltre.
That, coupled with the fact that they ran into a very, very good San Francisco Giant pitching staff. Lincecum, Kane, Bumgarner.
Count is full and Beltre steps out.
Closer Brian Wilson.
Two out. How about the season from Michael Young? Arguably the best hitter in franchise history, and he had a career high .338 average. He's won a batting title. Career high 106 RBIs. Another 200 hit season for the shortstop, third baseman, second baseman, DH, first baseman. And he started all over the place. Here's Napoli. Ball 1. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal. Kenny?
In Michael Young. Well, Michael Young has a lot of faith in Michael Young. And he's a guy much like Derek Jeter, relentlessly optimistic even when he's slumping. I spoke with him yesterday. I said, hey, are you coming around? And he said, yes. I was getting too late started with my swing. I've gotten my timing down, and here we go. And that's exactly what happened.
And he's had a big night.
Michael getting his 2000th hit on August 7th against Cleveland. Lots happened good for him this year.
A lot's happened good for Napoli as well as he gets his first hit of the night. Now Nelson Cruz. Remember we talked about Michael Young shaving before game 4. He's 6 for 15 with 7 RBIs since he took the beard away. Is this going to go? At the wall. He has got another. Unbelievable Nelson Cruz. Number 6. Cruz. Well, right now you have to avoid him if you can. But this lineup is so good top to bottom.
Right.
They're all tough to pitch around because you work your way into a bigger inning.
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy who's hit 7th in every game of the postseason. 7th.
And now a walk to Murphy. Murphy's been on base 5 times. Bring in Craig Gentry. So he's got the records with 6 and 13. And it's 15-4, by the way. Texas on top here in the 7th. Looks like the X Factor will be on tomorrow night on Fox.
I think that's safe to say, yes.
And the TBS will be prime time. Brian, Ron, and John will get extra sleep. Ball 1 low to Gentry. There's one into left field. The hit parade continues. And so does the party in the seats here at Rangers Ballpark. Gentry, his second hit. And that's it for Brad Penny. Al Albuquerque will take over. And Penny is gone here in the 7th. We've shown that a lot in this ALCS. He has hit 6. And the route is on here in Arlington. What a series. What a series for Cruz. Whoa. Right under his chin, and the runners advance to 2nd and 3rd. And now both benches have been warned. Home plate umpire Tom Hallion warned. That's what Leland thinks of the warning. As that one got away from Albuquerque up and in.
Boy, this is close and dangerous.
This was a big weapon that for the most part was not available to Jim Leland in this postseason. Leland was quoted during the week as saying he's like our Ogando. That's the kind of stuff he has when he can throw strikes, but he has looked unable to put it where he wants to this postseason. Here's a 2-0. And now after the warning, that one goes up and in, and Kinsler looks at Tom Hallion and says, well.
That's a breaking ball, though. Hallion knows that.
Here is a 3-0. 3-1. Inside again, and the bases are loaded. they'll bring in Elvis Andrews, the 9th man to bat in the inning.
Talked about Albuquerque and his control problems. That's why it's very difficult to say whether that was an intentional knockdown pitch. I don't think it was.
Here's one to the right side, comes up on Santiago, who recovers for the out.
But it looked like it was.
We go to inning number 8. The party is on here in Arlington. 15-4, Rangers on top. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific as Mike Adams takes over for Ogando, who in 2 allowed 1 hit, struck out 3. Austin Jackson has 2 hits, including a 2-run home run. Two hops. Andrews, 1 out.
Once again, the bullpen for the Texas Rangers is sparkling. They will win this game. They will be given credit for a win, for their 4th win. This is the 154th series. That's World Series and LCS included. The only team to win 4 games, the best 4 out of 7, by their bullpen, the 1997 Cleveland Indians against the Baltimore Orioles. That is a remarkable statistic come up with by our guy who must be glowing now. Eric Mandia is in the truck, and that's fabulous. Wonderful.
1 out, nobody on. First pitch is a strike to Rayburn, who's bounced into 2 double plays and was robbed of an extra base hit on a catch up against the wall by Hamilton and left. 0 for 3. 1-1 the count. That ball will get out of play.
And Joe, you talked about it earlier. That same year, 1997, the Cleveland Indians went to play the Florida Marlins, and their manager Jim Leyland, his only world title.
It was Nagy on the mound with Renteria at the plate. Extra inning, game winning, series winning base hit. Here is a 1-2 to Rayburn from Adams. Out of arms and legs flying around when Mike Adams brings it to the plate. 2-2. In the air to left. Hamilton coming to grab it. 2 out. That will bring in Miguel Cabrera, who is 7 out of 19 in this LCS with 2 home runs. He homered back in the first. The Tigers led this game 2-0 after a Peralta home run in the second, and then 9 runs by the Rangers in the 3rd inning blew this game open. A 9-run 3rd. The 2 out. Strike 1. We'll see these faces next week as the Rangers make a bid for their first world championship. That ball is pounded into left center field, back at the wall, and it's his second of the game. Into the bullpen to make it 15-5.
That should count for 2. My gosh. Hanging breaking ball from Mike Adams. And I mean, did Cabrera ever unload on that?
And even the Rangers fans behind the dugout applaud this as Cabrera comes back to the bench, just smoking that breaking ball. Ron Washington has nothing but respect for the ability of Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera now has hit in 13 straight LCS games dating back to '03 with the Marlins, when they played Chicago and then beat the Yankees in the World Series.
We talked about it earlier. Ron Washington surprised that Miguel Cabrera has not walked intentionally 200 times a year.
Big reason why is a guy at the plate now. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One of the great statistics ever in 1961, when Roger Maris hit the 61 home runs, he was not intentionally walked once that year. The reason, of course, Mickey Mantle hitting behind him. So that guy hitting behind the sluggers, they mean a lot.
1 ball, 1 strike. Outside, 2-1. "14 home runs have been hit by the Tigers in this series. 11 of the 14 have been solo home runs. Including 3 of the 4 here tonight. That's outside, ball 3. Bottom of the 8th, you will get to see the big bats again. Mike Adams out of San Diego. The Padres dealt to the Rangers, and he is on his way to a World Series. Count still 3-2 on Victor Martinez. We're in the 8th. 15-5 Texas. Into center, another hit for Victor Martinez, who's had a nice night. 3 singles. And the 8th inning is still alive for Delman Young. And a visit from Mike Maddox. We talked about it earlier. Maddox was the pitching coach in Milwaukee. And now every year he's been the Rangers pitching coach. This is his 3rd. Their team ERA, staff ERA has gone down every year in a tough place to pitch. Darren Oliver gets loose in case this inning starts to unravel. Here's Delman Young.
Had a chance to talk with Mike before the game and talking about his starter tonight. And then upon leaving, I asked him about Greg. I said, is Greg going to continue to be with the Cubs? He said, I don't know.
Greg Maddox, a brilliant pitcher of the Cubs and Braves. That ends the inning and sends it to the bottom of the 8th. Long home run by Miguel Cabrera makes it 15-5. Rangers on top.
Well, thank you both for coming.
Oh, thank you so much. I love the Vermeer collection.
Vermeer?
Dutch painter, only painted like 34 paintings.
Oh, what an odd name.
You got like 5 of them in your hallway.
Those were actually in the attic when we moved in. We just both really love the color yellow. You guys are a lot of fun.
The Audi A8, named Best Large Luxury Sedan.
New car? Yeah, pretty cool.
Ever feel like you're missing out on mobile internet because smartphone plans cost too much? T-Mobile's here to help. With America's largest 4G network. Facebook, gaming, entertainment, T-Mobile gives you all this for just $49.99.
Introducing T-Mobile's best plan ever. Unlimited data, talk, and text. 2 lines, just $49.99 each for a limited time. From America's largest 4G network.
T-Mobile.
Check out our latest 4G smartphones like the HTC Sensation and the MyTouch 4G Slide.
War is coming to the heavens.
Theseus, be ready to fight.
I want to rip your heart out of your broken corpse. None of you will leave this place.
Immortals starts 11/11/11. Rated R.
Cut!
I have a small part in a big movie. I thought we'd be on location for 3 days. It's been 3 weeks. So I used my City Simplicity card to pick up a few things, and I don't have to worry about a late fee, which is good.
No! Bigger!
Because I don't think we're going anywhere for a while.
Write your story with the new City Simplicity card. No late fees, no penalty rate, no worries. Get started at citysimplicity.com.
There's something inside your McDonald's Happy Meal. I can swear. It's really good. Do you see it? It's called hope. Hope? Yeah, hope. I don't see any hope. I don't see any hope in here. You can't see it there, but you can see it here. Because every time you get a Happy Meal or a Mighty Kids meal, some of the money goes to Ronald McDonald House Charities to help lots of kids and families. Hope's good. Happy Meals, the simple joy of helping.
Tonight's game is sponsored by Audi, Truth in Engineering. By Citibank, write your story with a new City Simplicity card. And by McDonald's, I'm loving it. And these fans have been since that 9-run third, loving it. 15-5. Hamilton first up against Albuquerque, ball 1 up. Hamilton, Young, and Adrian Beltre. Albuquerque missed time with a concussion. And when he came back, his stuff was a bit diminished.
And erratic.
Two and one. Two and two. Rangers will not play around with this. They'll be leading by at least 10 in the 9th inning, and Feliz is getting loose. Nice pick by Cabrera. He's shown the world what he can do in this series. 1 out. Our Audi player of the game brought to you by the A8. True greatness should never go unrecognized. And it's Michael Young, who's been a great player for this franchise. 4 RBIs in that 9-run third, and then a home run in the 7th.
That's a clinic, huh? Double down the left field line, double down the right field line, home run to straightaway center.
His double tied the game when he first came up in the 3rd, and then his double basically broke it open later in the 3rd. His homer just tacked on more in the 7th. One out, nobody on. And now Albuquerque's showing you what he can do when he's on. It's 0-2. Got him looking. And look at this offensive explosion the Rangers have had here tonight. Franchise postseason record. 15 runs total, 17 hits. That's a record. 8 different players have scored, and 7 different players have driven in at least 1 run.
Mount Etna. My gosh.
It has been a display put on by the Rangers. Their bats, their legs on the mound, out of the bullpen. Ball 1 to Beltre, who has a double, a single, an RBI, and he scored twice. There's the starter Holland, who could not get through 5. That's just a footnote. One ball, 1 strike. Strike 2.
Very few empty seats. Fans wanting to see the celebration here in Arlington.
And you're right with what you said earlier. This franchise has never enjoyed this kind of success. I don't think this fan base has ever felt better about this Ranger team than right now.
No.
And they are 3 outs away from stamping their ticket for the 2nd consecutive year to the Fall Classic. And we will have that and the celebration as we go to the 9th inning here in Arlington.
Get your cash back.
Oh, hi.
From the World Series are the Texas Rangers. Johnny Peralta first up, 15-5 in the 9th. And it's 2-0. He's been perfect in save chances this postseason. This, however, not one. 3-1. Word is Ogando will get the win. Scherzer will get the loss, barring the miraculous. Shattered bat, foul ball, full count.
That's all Alex Avila needs. He was almost hit by that shattered bat in the on-deck circle.
On Wednesday, we will either be in Milwaukee or St. Louis for Game 1 of the 2011 World Series. Legends are born in October, in Game 1 of the World Series Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on Fox. Peralta with a new bat.
Alex Avila has been hit every imaginable place in this playoff, and he's almost, you just have to laugh, don't you, Alex?
Here is a 3-2.
There it is, the broken bat. I think Alex is familiar with that phrase that that white ball can find you and seems to find you in bunches, but not a bat too.
Another foul to keep it full. Tigers hoping to win here tonight and then hand the ball to him. Doug Fister, who has really emerged this postseason. Big pickup by Detroit. Another bat gets away, and this one is on the infield in foul ground, 1 out. Somebody got plunked with that bat right over the Tigers dugout.
Yeah.
Thankfully, everybody's okay, especially that kid who got hit, looks like in the wrist.
Jim Leland orchestrating that and making sure that young man gets a bat. And obviously hope he's all right.
With one out, nobody on, here is Avila. There's no let up in this Texas lineup, and there's no let up in this Texas bullpen. Ogando to Adams, and now Feliz. Ball one. We will have the trophy presentation on the field after this game. We'll count 2-1. Two and two. In the air to center, back at the track, at the wall. 2 out as Gentry hauls it in. In the air, shallow right. The Texas Rangers win the pennant. Second consecutive.